Morning time now, 6:21. Joining me is Traverse City Area Chamber of Commerce President Doug Luciani. Doug, from the Chamber here, we talk about a lot of events going on around town that the Chamber is involved in. And pretty cool what you're going to talk about this morning is a new leadership effort taking place within the Chamber.
Right. Most chambers have a leadership program, and Traverse Cities has been Leadership Grand Traverse. Petoskey kicked off leadership. Little Traverse this fall. Cadillac has its program. We all have our leadership programs. We introduced a new leadership component to our overall program last week. And we took a group of 6 business leaders from northern Michigan to Vicksburg to study the leadership lessons learned at the Battle of Vicksburg, which was, of course, a famous Civil War battle. And this is something that the military has done for well over 100 years. They study every battle that the United States has fought in, and they look for the leadership lessons from the different things that happened in the battle. And the Battle of Vicksburg actually took place over 8 months. And so we went to several different battle sites around Mississippi that led to the final siege of Vicksburg.
And for those of our viewers who weren't able to go on this journey, what were some of the lessons learned? I mean, what makes a good leader? What made a good leader then? What makes a good leader now?
Yeah, when you stand on those battlefield sites and you look at what the leaders had to deal with, you look at communication, first of all, how important clarity of communication is, how much language really matters. You look at what the commander's intent is and whether they have people in positions within their staff, and we would say on our teams or in our businesses, that can understand that intent and run with it, or do they need constant direction and supervision? So it's kind of like the Collins book, Good to Great. Do you have the right people on the bus? Do they know what you mean? Do they understand your vision? Is there a strategy that's in place that will work? And really having the stick-to-itiveness to follow through and keep your eye on the objective, and finally take it.
And to the men and women out there watching, the leaders of our community, what's your message to them in this tough economy? Those business leaders in our community trying to keep morale up around their business. It can be tough, especially when you see jobs being cut around you. What's your advice to them in this economy?
Yeah, well, one of the lessons that we would have learned that we would apply to that question is really to identify what your problem is. A lot of times we try to solve everything at once, and we need to know with great clarity what exactly the problem is that we're trying to solve, and then don't try to do it alone. There are plenty of resources available to help people in business right now to find answers, to find access to capital, to find people that can encourage them, mentor them, or to find new markets for their products. But if they hunker down, as Pemberton did at Vicksburg, they'll eventually lose, just as he did. And this is not the time to hunker down. This is the time to charge in business.